How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up
Matisse
CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look. Welcome back to another episode of Conti and Nick. I'm Will Nicholson, as always. I have with me Gino Conti, and we got Tom DeLory in the room lurking around today. D'Lo, do you want to say something before we start?
No.
He said no, but we're back here.
D'Lo
on
had
the show.
his chance. He
did.
could have been the three-time guest appearance on this show.
That's
but
true.
you know, he decides to be a little bitch and just sit there and chill on his phone. You know, he just is sad. He's upset because he might be undefeated in fantasy. Okay, he might be running this league. But last year, the first year we did the league, he faced me twice, and he lost to me twice. I have him this week, and D'Lo knows that I am his kryptonite. Okay, and he's just being quiet and waiting because his reckoning's upon him.
It's a new year. It's your year specifically, Gino.
Yeah, New Year, same results.
Exactly. Except Kamara won't score 6 touchdowns on me on Christmas.
He's questionable.
I
I'm struggling to field a healthy team, and I'm in 4th place. You all
I know.
suck. Okay?
I'm struggling big time, dude.
I'm here.
It's
Like
rough.
my team is like coming at you live from South Shore Hospital. Okay, and I'm still in 4th place. There's no excuse for any of you mofo's.
There's an excuse for me. Kyler Murray and Tyrod Taylor. That's all I'll say. But welcome back, everyone. It was my doing. It was. I will say. I'll take credit for that. But welcome back to the showroom. We're here at Bridgewater State University again in the hot college dorm with the fan running on high.
Shit, it's hot.
It is pretty hot in here, but not as hot as the hot takes that Gino's about to give. And you see from the thing, we're talking about the rookies today, but we got a nice centerpiece in there because he had his first NFL start this week. And Gino, I want to know your reaction to Jordan
first of all,
Love.
remember we've discussed this. I go, when Jordan Love starts, we've discussed this before. This has to be like what we talk about
It has
immediately.
to.
Okay?
There's no way.
Like,
there's no way we're gonna do anything else.
After like the history we have created on this show about Jordan Love, there's no way.
Had to happen.
I want to make a disclaimer here before because there's gonna be people who come in 5-10 minutes late, okay, and they're gonna hear what I say and think that I'm crazy. I want to give a disclaimer in terms of grading his performance. I give him a D+.
Okay.
Okay, I give him a D+. There are circumstances that surround it that I give him the benefit of the doubt for, but albeit he did not perform well. Okay, he kind of turned it on towards the end, threw a nice little touchdown there to Lazard. Okay, so that's a little promising if Rodgers isn't able to play this week, but. He's still throughout the game. He didn't really perform very well. It's very obvious. Like there's no getting around it. Okay.
Yeah. So look. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, look, my thing with Jordan Love, and look, I don't toot my horn much on the show, but I was exactly right. I was spot on with the type of player that Jordan Love would look like as a starting quarterback. I think I've always said about Jordan Love. Does he have a decent arm? Yes. Every NFL starting quarterback has a good arm, or a good enough arm to be in the NFL to NFL standards. The thing that is always off about Jordan Love is the decisions he makes with the style that he plays. I says over and over again. We see, in his last season at Utah State, which I infamously have dissed many times. He threw 20 touchdowns. He threw 17 interceptions. His style of play is that kind of scrambler gunslinger, and I don't think he has the talent to do it. I'm sure Jordan Love's a great guy, right? I'm sure he's a great dude. He made it to the NFL. He's talented enough to get there, but to really perform and be a franchise quarterback, I don't think he has it. I don't. I think he makes poor decisions. He could have thrown 4 interceptions. There was 2 drop picks. There was a 50-50 ball he threw to Randall Cobb, and he had a real interception once.
Yeah.
So he could have thrown 4 picks that game. And I said in the sports group chat when we were talking, if he sticks to the game plan that's laid out for him, and he plays the game that LaFleur wants him to play, he'll look fine. And he did. There was a couple of times he had some really good, check down throws or just throws to the open routes where he was going through his reads. And there's some where he just is, screw it, roll right, huck it up, and those balls get picked. Yeah, those balls get picked, and they almost were. There was one it was a little out route, like a 3-yard out. And it dropped off the corner's hand. Just decisions like that, where it looks like he's reacting instead of looking at what the defense
actually just reading what he's supposed to do.
Yes, exactly.
Reading his progressions and just,
Yes.
like you said, following the game plan. He's kind of just like, screw it. Devontae Adams is up there somewhere.
He's down there somewhere.
Yeah, he's down there somewhere.
And that works. There's a lot of quarterbacks that make that style work. Patrick Mahomes, like there's quarterbacks who are gunslingers. Aaron Rodgers is one of those gunslingers, but that style of play doesn't work for Jordan Love. It doesn't. And look, I wanted to say this about the way we treat NFL quarterbacks in general. The quarterback position, while it's very, you need to be a physically gifted player. In the NFL, the quarterback position is so mental. Most of it, I would argue, is mental.
Absolutely.
Where you have a guy like Kirk Cousins, who realistically has the same style as Tom Brady. You've seen his argument before. Kirk and Tom Brady really do the same thing.
Kirk can move a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah. Kirk Cousins right now, maybe younger Kirk Cousins, yeah, but Kirk Cousins right now and Tom Brady, they play the same style. They play the drop back, pocket passer, offload it to your very good receiving core. But what's the difference between Tom Brady and Kirk Cousins, realistically, besides obviously Tom Brady has a better team, is who Tom Brady is, his poisonous, his mental is prepared for the game. Not that Kirk Cousins doesn't do that, that stuff, but Tom Brady is just the best at it.
Yeah, just not to the level of Tom.
Exactly. We see a guy with Jordan Love, and yes, he's mobile, and we did this with Zach Wilson too. He's mobile. It's all about the decision making in the NFL, and I don't think that Jordan Love is that guy. I've said he's not that guy. Hope maybe he proves me wrong. Who knows? But I just don't think that he is a franchise quarterback. And if he plays again this week, we're probably going to see the same thing over again.
Well, see, here's the thing that I say. Okay, Jordan Love, again, just a disclaimer, he did not look good. Okay, when he was poised, when he was calm, he didn't let the moment get to him. He actually did look pretty good. And you know what? That's, to me, the way I look at it, he was just nervous. Okay, he was overwhelmed by the moment. Okay, and he had some scenarios before the game, leading up to the game, that obviously weren't ideal. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but he didn't get to practice with Devontae Adams all week because Devontae Adams was limited the whole entire time. I don't know if you knew that or not. Okay,
I saw that he was on COVID protocol.
Yeah, so it was the protocol. So he didn't get to practice with the best receiver on the team all week. Okay, and that's a security blanket that a quarterback making his first ever start in one of the hardest stadiums to play in football really could have used. Okay, and I know that Robert Tonyan isn't a world beater. Okay, I know he's not this all-around great tight end, but he is a security blanket. He's there to catch those short passes, and he's there to catch touchdowns. Okay, obviously they can say, "Oh my God, yeah, that's a tight end," but he's a little security blanket, and that is the best friend of not just a rookie, of a young quarterback.
Yes.
Okay, he didn't have Tonyan. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year, and God bless you, Mercedes Lewis. I don't know how you're still in the league. You're a freaking fossil, man. God bless you. But, he's not going to be the guy who gets the job done. Okay, Sternberger, or whatever the hell his name is. You know what I'm talking about? Jake Sternberger.
Yeah.
He's not going to get the job done. Those aren't guys that will help Jordan Love. Okay, it's the reality of the situation. So, not only that, you weren't practicing with your best receiver all week. So you had no time to develop any sort of minute chemistry at all.
Well, this is his second year on the team now at this point.
Okay, but who was taking all the first reps?
It was Rodgers. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So Jordan Love was always practicing with the second team.
I agree. Okay. Very quick too. Very quick. We want to know what you guys think about Jordan Love's first start, and I'm really trying to push this whole. We have the YouTube chat thing. I saw Cam Tate in there, Shadow Cam Tate, but I want to know, what is Jordan Love looking like next week, and we're going to talk about that too. So always feel free to let loose, because we love having opinions on this show. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. So that's pretty much it. Again, the best receiver on the team, not there all week. Okay, and just on game day, trying to develop chemistry on the fly. Albeit the Chiefs are a bad defense. Okay, but it's a defense who, Steve Spagnuolo, I don't know how well you know his coaching style. That guy likes to blitz a lot. Okay, yes. That guy is very blitz heavy, and that's how you make a guy nervous on the road. Okay, and it just works. Okay, Sternberger was last on Washington's practice squad. All right, thank you, Cam. I actually didn't know that. I don't really know who the Packers third string. Oh, DeGoyer or whatever. Whatever, like Jose DeGuire or whatever. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, that's another guy I know of.
Yes.
But do you know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're saying. He didn't have weapons.
Yeah,
he didn't have the ideal weapons.
Yeah,
the Green
he
Bay
didn't
Packers
have the
would
best receiver. He didn't have his security blanket. Okay, the O-line is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Okay, so A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, they played good, but not great. Okay, but not every week the run game's going to be well. Again, he's playing against a blitz-heavy defensive coordinator, okay, and he's just not, it just wasn't a good game. The nerves got to him, and he was playing in one of the toughest arenas in the league to play in.
Look, here's my thing with Jordan Love, right? We know that, Aaron Rodgers is probably not going to be in Green Bay next season, and we know that Devontae Adams probably also isn't going to be in Green Bay next season, and it's going to become the Aaron Jones show, probably, because they extended him. And then you have Jordan Love to fill in, and I don't think that he's the right fit. I don't. I just don't think that he's a starting level quarterback, especially right now when he's young and he's making all these really bad decisions when he goes out there. And I totally agree. The inaccuracy is a problem for Jordan Love. There was
I agree.
The inaccuracy is a problem. The decision making is a problem. I don't even think his arm talent is out of this world. We can go, but he's a gunslinger and he can learn. But you can argue that. That was the argument for Pat Mahomes coming out of college. Like, does he run around the field and fling it? Yes. But oh man, is that arm crazy, right? Is that arm out of this world? Jordan Love, I don't see the same thing. And don't get me wrong, he doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes, but we need to see some type of starting level quarterback success. Or it's looking like he could just be a backup. Or like I said, he could possibly be out of the NFL.
So I want to say this, and I want you just to bear with me, okay? Aaron Rodgers, we all know, in my opinion, the most talented quarterback I've ever laid my eyes on.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know how good of a role model he would be for a young quarterback.
I thought you were going to say in general. I'm like, he's probably not a good one.
Well, that too. Yeah. Okay, but just strictly in terms of
football. Gotcha.
I don't know because Aaron Rodgers is kind of that gunslinger guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what Jordan Love sees every day. Yeah. Right? So if not, do you not think that kind of encourages Jordan Love more to be like that?
I think it plays a factor.
Because you're kind of making the comparison with Pat Mahomes, and I'm not saying that's like a wrong comparison to make, but think about who Patrick Mahomes had to look up to. Alex Smith. Yeah. Right, the ultimate game manager.
Yes.
The ultimate guy who goes, listen, if the deep guy look isn't there, then take the check down.
Also, we can argue Alex Smith wanted to be a mentor, right? He wanted to bring these young guys. I don't think Aaron Rodgers could,
he gives two shits less.
I don't think he could give two shits about Jordan Love's development, right? I don't think he cares. Yeah. And I think we see that, he's been in the system for 2 years, and he looked like he was just improvising out there.
Yeah, no, and I completely see what you're saying, and it's not wrong to say to compare it with Alex Smith because it's like a boomer bust prospect learning under somebody who needed a year.
Yes.
Okay, but the thing is, like I said, Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers is a little bit less mobile, I'd say, but in terms of just gunslingers and taking shots downfield, they're similar.
Yeah.
So they're pretty similar. Nothing really I guess because Aaron Rodgers is a savant, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, but that's just because he's so elite. I'm not even trying to say that Aaron Rodgers' decision-making is out of this world godly great.
His arm talent's good enough to make the bad decisions and throw it into the tight window. Yes.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
Yeah, and Alex Smith is just the ultimate mentor.
Yes.
And that's what Pat Mahomes had as opposed to Jordan Love.
But I think the talent for Pat Mahomes widely outweighs the talent that Jordan Love has compared to starting quarterback. But, and I agree real quick with what we're saying too. Cam going, I would take every first round QB drafted last year over Jordan Love. I would too. 100%. I think those guys have way more upside. And look, we've all heard me argue the draft placement of Jordan Love from last year. He shouldn't have been a first round pick. You could argue maybe he's a second round pick. He should have been like Davis Mills type territory, in my opinion.
Only time will tell.
Of course, only time will tell. In hindsight, yes, but I also called it out right when it happened.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you're gonna make a chance like that, you could very well be right.
True.
But I personally just would not like to, just given the circumstances, and he didn't even have a full practice week.
Yeah.
Okay, it was kind of just like smack dab in the middle of the week.
That's true.
Like, so your game's on a Sunday. You're told Wednesday that you're starting.
Yes.
Okay, like that's a few days, but that's not enough to develop a full game plan.
That's
like
right.
with a completely new quarterback. Like because now you go from all right, Aaron Rodgers will make that throw. I don't have to tell him. To all right, we have to tell Jordan Love to make that throw.
Yeah.
Like the coaching staff now has to I'm not saying, oh God forbid they do their jobs, like because obviously when you draft a young guy, yeah, you have to do your job and coach up a guy who needs coaching.
Yes.
But now the coaching staff on the fly has to go from all right, we can worry about other things because Aaron Rodgers has this covered. We go from that to okay, we really need to focus on helping Jordan Love make this throw, helping Jordan Love make this read. Like, do you know what I mean by that?
I do. And look, I don't think it's gonna get much better for Jordan Love either this week. I forget who they have. I'm currently going through the schedule right now.
Didn't
They
you
have
do the
the
Willie Nick
Seahawks.
picks?
They did, but I don't have them this week. Unfortunately,
you don't have the Willie
I
Nick
forgot to
picks?
get them printed out. So for the show, I could. You know what? Sure, I'll do them. I'll run through them. I remember my picks, but I'll do them towards the end of the show. The Packers have the Seahawks this week. And look, if this could be a week that the Packers could win. I think I actually picked them to win. This could be a week for them to win. And you have a beat-up defense. You have Russell Wilson, who we don't know if he's going to come back. We've stated multiple times we don't like the Seattle secondary. And Jordan Love is looking like he's going to be the quarterback this week. It doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers is coming back. But
and that defensive line of Seattle isn't as good as Kansas City's defensive line.
Exactly.
They don't have the Frank Jones. They don't have the Chris Jones. They don't have the Frank Clark. They don't have that guy Nadi who's really developed into that good second defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Like they just really don't have. They don't have that linebacker who's kind of more of a step down DN now. Melvin Ingram, who's a good blitzer and edge rusher, if anything, who they just acquired. It's just Kansas City in terms of like the first level of defense has better heads than the San Francisco than the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
So if Jordan Love does play,
I think he'll do the game plan.
I think he'll have more success because he's practicing with Devontae.
Yeah.
Okay, and he has a full week. He has a game now, and he has a full week of practice under his belt with the first team. He can develop a little bit more chemistry. And you know what? I'm not saying he's going to come out looking like a world beater, but I think you'll see like 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and maybe a pick.
Probably a pick.
Yeah, and probably a pick.
There's probably going to be one in there.
Probably a pick. And you know what? That's fine. And everyone will say that's a drastic improvement from what we saw the other day.
I agree. Look, and with Jordan Love, and I said in the beginning of the game too, I'm like, he, in the very, very beginning, besides not converting on a couple of third downs, he looked good. He looked fine. He looked like he was doing everything he was supposed to, and then he improvises, and it looks like he lost his head a little bit.
He looked sharp
in that moment. And if they can just coach him through that and get him through, especially versus the Seattle team, they should be able to win, right? There should be a win, or he has to show promise or something. And if not, maybe the Packers are looking for another quarterback in the draft this year.
You never know.
It's a super high possibility because you're taking a first-round pick on this guy. He's had a full year to sit, and his first 2 starts, he's looking like he did, where it looks like he doesn't. That's rookie play right there. Granted, it's his first start, but we expect more from Jordan Love.
And let me tell you, this is the difference between. And you might laugh, but Josh Johnson, the guy that got picked up by New York and played pretty damn good. The Jets, like that third string quarterback when Mike White got hurt.
Yes.
Josh Johnson. Okay, he's an NFL journeyman. He's 35 years old. He's been around the league. He's been on like 10 different teams. Okay, but that's the difference between a Jordan Love and a Josh Johnson. Okay, Josh Johnson has been there. Okay, he's a guy who has the experience. He's a guy who knows just like the prototypical NFL pro offense and kind of is just like a plug-and-play backup wherever you need him to be. And Jordan Love just is a young quarterback who just let the moment get to his head.
That's true.
Josh Johnson's been around the league. Like, there's no way in hell that when at the end of the careers that Josh Johnson's gonna have a better career than Jordan Love.
I agree.
But just at this point in their careers, Josh Johnson is more experienced. He has like the game plans, the game experiences. He's seen all the defenses. Jordan Love just hasn't.
But it doesn't look like Jordan Love has that skill, though. That's what I'm scared about. Does he have the game planning skill?
I think he does.
Look,
I'm not going to tell you that he's good.
Yes.
I'm not going to say he's going to be this, oh my God, this messiah. But I think that he's going to be good.
Yeah. And look, the difference between a guy like a journeyman like that, or even someone like a rookie quarterback like Mac Jones. Jordan Love is a way better athlete than Mac Jones, like outlandishly better. But I think the difference is what Mac Jones does is the little things, right? Are my feet set? Am I making the right read? All the little stuff that's a part of the game that I don't think that Jordan Love makes. And the Packers, like, they threw a first-round pick at a quarterback. It was like a desperation. A quarterback who went to Utah State, made a lot of mistakes. And honestly, it doesn't look like he has. Again, Jordan Love's a great dude, but it doesn't look like he has the mental aspect of the game. He doesn't have the game planning. He doesn't have anything like that. It doesn't look like. We'll have to see, and that's something that comes over time too. But it doesn't look like he has that same processing chip, I guess you could call it, that they say that the quarterbacks like Mac Jones,
IQ.
Justin Fields,
IQ.
Yeah, IQ, sure. That it doesn't look like he has that right now. Could it be developed? I don't know, but right now it's not looking like he does.
All right, well, I think we both are here. We both know.
I had to get that out.
I am fully willing to acknowledge that he didn't play well.
That's fair.
But I'm just here to tell you that
it gets better.
The circumstances surrounding it were not good in the least bit. Okay, that kid was just thrown in there. He really was. And again, he was thrown in there, and if he had Adams and he had Tunyon, I don't know how drastic of a difference it is, but I think it is a bit of a positive difference.
You know what else? You know what other kid was thrown in there in the big moment?
Tom
Brady. What's the difference, really? I don't see any. We have to get the Jordan Love rant out, but we'll talk.
Don't disrespect Tom Brady or John Breaux like that.
Of course, yeah. I'm sorry, John Breaux.
Yeah, come on. Why would you ever compare a guy like Tom Brady to John Breaux?
I'll never do it again. Please forgive me.
So you're sorry to John Breaux right now.
I'm sorry, John Breaux. That's awesome. All right, so we'll move on to, I guess, the other part of this episode. We talked a little bit about the rookies, where you mentioned some names, but look, I want to know your opinion and maybe some predictions you have for the rookies that have looked the best so far.
Okay, Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, Najee Harris, Rashawn Slater, Micah Parsons, Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain.
There's a lot of good ones. I told you this class was different. This class looked really, really good.
It is. It's
with
very
COVID
good.
And everything, these players have come in and they've looked really, really good. And I pretty much have the same list. I mean, the big ones are Najee, Jamar, Mac, Micah, all guys like that have looked amazing. And look, the Cowboys, it looks like they have themselves a real defense now. Remember all the criticism we did on draft night, where they were like, they were kind of interested in Kyle Pitts. And we were like, why are you doing that? You need a defense. Micah Parsons is probably going to be right there for you. You got to take him. They took him, and now they have Trayvon Diggs, and they have. I
don't like Trayvon Diggs.
We know you don't like Trayvon Diggs, but he does get the interceptions. He gets turnovers. And
Doesn't mean you're good.
That's true. Hey, the cornerbacks coach, I'll take your word for it. But look, we see a very versatile linebacker. They have that now. And we see a corner who's, while he is a 50-50 player, he does get the turnovers. And it's way better than what their defense was last year.
No, I agree. And mostly I think it's because they hired Dan Quinn. Okay, Dan Quinn got fired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach. But before that, he was the defensive coordinator of the Legion of Boom. Okay, like, he is a great goddamn defensive coach. And you might say, well, the Falcons defense didn't look good. I go, all right, like, fair. But when he was just been asked to focus strictly on defense, he's done a pretty damn good job.
Yeah.
Right, he has. And over Mike Nolan was their defensive coordinator last year. Okay, before the year 2020, his last job in the league was the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, funny we say, in 2014. Want to know where the Atlanta Falcons defense ranked in 2014? 31.
Yeah.
31. So in 2020, let's speak from this timeline. In 2020, the last time this man has a job was 6 years prior, and he had the second worst defense in the NFL, and that's who you hire? That's who you hired to be your DC? Come on. Dan Quinn came in. He brings like a new age, or not even a new age, a modern age like defensive schemes, modern day defensive like styles and whatnot. And he got this team on track. And I'm not going to tell you it's the most elite defense in the world. The secondary could use some help, so couldn't the linebackers. Okay, but the D-line's pretty damn good. DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, and Micah Parsons, whatever you consider him like a D-end or outside linebacker.
It's crazy that's his versatility.
Yeah, that's pretty damn
insane.
good. And linebackers, if you want to count Parsons, that's fine. Van Der Esch, I think, is pretty damn good. All right, like, he's a little down. from his rookie year, but I still think he's pretty solid. Okay, and they could use a couple more, but other than that, not bad. The secondary kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Woods, no, Woods is another team. It's Lewis, and I'm like, whatever.
I think we got to keep in mind they're still missing. Was it DeMarcus Lawrence, their pass rusher?
Well, I said they have DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory.
I think he has a broken leg, no, right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like on paper.
Yes, in paper, and also you mentioned the coaching. Thank God the Cowboys have some type of defensive coach. Especially with Mike McCarthy at the head. Especially with Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
Really?
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you he's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid coach. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's spectacular. But I don't think he's awful.
This Cowboys coaching staff is the island of misfit toys. Yeah. They just have failing coaches from around the league.
That's actually really good. That's really good.
Look, they have Dan Quinn and the 28-3 lead. You got Mike McCarthy, who could never put a defense together for Aaron Rodgers. And look, now he's on the Cowboys, and shocker, they still don't have a defense. But he can do offense, and Dan Quinn can do. Look, it's not a perfect fit.
Kellen Moore actually is a good offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Kellen Moore, I don't know if you hear Romo in most of their broadcasts, but they're like, well, Jim, Kellen Moore's going to be our head coach next year. Well, Jim.
Oh, yeah. I have heard that. I heard that all the time.
Here we go, Jim. Tony.
I will say I love that co-cast. Yeah. I love Romo and Jim Nantz. I know that's unpopular. I love hearing both of them.
And Will, speaking of Tony, why don't you tell us your most disappointing movies?
I will talk about the most disappointing because I wanted to talk a little bit about this, and I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Trevor Lawrence. So we'll get into that. I want to know how much do you think of Trevor Lawrence is him just being a rookie, or how much of it is Urban Meyer? Should Jacksonville fans be concerned considering it's only his first year? With that in mind.
Well, it's a really unique situation, okay? Because you look at it and you say, yes, Urban Meyer, toxic. Okay, all management, the coaching staff, completely toxic, okay? But, on the other hand, I've said this a few times, okay? I said this when I did the solo episode, and I said it, I think, an episode before or after that, I forget. But, you look at these rookie evaluators, okay? I know we laugh, but guys like Mel Kiper, guys like Todd McShay, Booger McFarland, okay? Like, these guys here, what's it called? Like, these guys are savants. These guys really know how to evaluate rookies, and obviously sometimes they're wrong, but you're not going to bat 1,000, okay?
That's true.
Every single time they've evaluated a quarterback as, like, a cannot miss, like, a generational talent, they've been right, okay? Peyton Manning, they did. Andrew Luck, you know, and like those are just two examples. They dubbed Trevor Lawrence as like one of those guys. Okay, and yes, he is a rookie. I will give you that 100%. Okay, but if you are this generational talent, in my opinion, you should be able to overcome shortcomings, like to make yourself look halfway decent.
Yes.
Okay, even if you look solid, okay, like that's fine. It's like everyone would understand with this toxic environment. He looks disappointing.
He does.
I'll say that he looks disappointing, and I'm not gonna say he looks out of his element. I'm not gonna say he doesn't know what he's doing or he looks over his head.
He looks uncomfortable.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like he's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. How could you be comfortable in that system? And look, I've argued 1,000 times. Trevor Lawrence has no shot at success until Urban Meyer's fired.
I agree.
Number one thing, Urban Meyer has to get fired for that team to have success. Spill the water. It's all good. Yeah. for
this
Trevor
isn't
Lawrence.
Soda. How is this spilling?
What was in the freezer? It happens. Sorry about that. So for Trevor Lawrence to have success, Urban Meyer has to go. He has to. He's not the coach. You know, we thought maybe he has a shot, and we knew they were going to be bad this year. Not only are they not good this year, but all of the locker room issues.
Urban just beat Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly. That was insane. I mean, start building around Josh Allen at this point. It's the best shot you have on that team.
Legit.
Yeah, but it's Urban Meyer has to go. That's step one. That's number one that has to happen.
That's a given.
And they need to just give Lawrence weapons through the draft. I argue that Trevor Lawrence is in the worst situation out of any single one of the rookies that were drafted. He goes to
absolutely.
It's not even close. Like, I'm blanking. Zach Wilson, sorry. Is Zach Wilson in a much better situation? No, not really. It's a little bit better. At least he has Corey Davis, and it somewhat looks like they have a system. Are their players awful? Yeah, but it looks like the Jets are going. They have a direction, right?
Yeah.
The Jets have a direction. Okay, we're bad right now. We have a bad offensive line. We just got Elijah Vera Tucker
offensive
in the
line
draft.
isn't bad. I argue this with Cam
It's
Tate
not.
all the time.
Gino,
Their
how?
offensive line isn't bad. Mekhi Becton is a beast. Okay, Elijah Vera Tucker is good.
Both those guys I
Fant,
like.
George Fant is good. They just traded for that guy from KC, like Lavondre Tardif. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't.
Like, and he's not a world beater, but he's solid.
Gino,
Okay, he's solid.
you're giving me names, but all I see is when they rush 4 and the Jets are blocking like 5 or 6, and 3 guys end up on Zach Wilson in the span of like a second and a half.
Becton and Fant are hurt.
Okay.
And Vera Tucker coming from the inside. They do like the NFL does do like A gap, B gap blitzes, but like the league is kind of becoming more blitz off the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, like more about speed off the edge rather than just like big.
People love their pass rushers. The Matt Judons.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Your defense, like Khalil Mack.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what the league's becoming. When Becton and Fant come back, you would have the left guard Vera Tucker, the right guard Tardif. That's really good. And I wouldn't say that's really good, but that's pretty damn good. And then Becton and Fant at the tackles, that's good. The only thing you really have to focus on is your center, and most centers are drafted in the 2nd and 3rd round, and they're all generally pretty damn solid.
And they're mostly out of Notre Dame and
Iowa?
Iowa?
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. Yeah, like
the two
where
offensive
they
line
carry
players.
the potatoes and shit.
Exactly. the farmer strength.
Yeah, legit. Farmer strength. Quit minor, shut up, Big Jake. But that's what I'm saying. Like, again, to go back to it, Trevor Lawrence is dubbed as this generational can't miss prospect. Like in 5 to 7 years, this will be the best quarterback in the league.
I still think it's possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
Okay, I never thought it would happen anyways, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Okay, and like I said, when those guys are dubbed that high, 10 out of 10 times those scouts are right.
That's right.
Okay, and again, to say that, oh man, like look at the system he's in, completely valid, absolutely valid. You'll get no argument from me. But if you're so good, like people say you are, why haven't you overcome it? You know how
it's only been a couple of games, so that's the thing. It's only been a few games with this system, and we already can tell that it doesn't work. Right? We know that this whole Urban Meyer experiment isn't going to work. There's links to him wanting the job at USC. Honestly, I think he should go there. He doesn't belong in the NFL.
He's a college coach.
He's a college, and that's not a bad thing for the record. But first of all, I don't care about Urban Meyer's feelings at all.
Yeah,
or he's kind of a dirtbag. Even when you look back to what he did at Ohio State, Urban Meyer's kind of a dirtbag. So he can go right back to college, and he can coach you. Yeah, he can just go coach at USC. We don't care. He doesn't belong in the NFL. He just doesn't belong here.
You're fucking old man. Get your fucking Viagra.
Yes, but we both agree. We need him out of the NFL. He's got to go. But when we look at Trevor Lawrence, now needs you've wasted a year. You've wasted a year of development on Trevor Lawrence to the point where he doesn't get better from this year, in my opinion. He maybe gets better as far as I have an NFL year under my belt, but that's it. That's all it is. He gets experience. He doesn't get anything else from it. Now, when you're looking at the future, you need to start really honing in on these draft picks. They need to hit. It is imperative, and I'll say this right now, if the Jacksonville Jaguars want to be competitive over the next years, it is absolutely crucial you hit however many draft picks you have in the next 3 years. It is so important that you have to hit. You almost can't. You have almost no margin for error.
Well, you've heard the rant I went on about of the Jaguars picks that preceded Lawrence, right?
Yes.
They draft a running
horrible.
back.
We criticize that, and I still think it's awful.
Yeah, even if he tore his ACL, like, God bless him, I hope he gets better.
Yeah.
But still, you draft a first-round running back, even though you just had a 1,000-yard rusher in James Robinson. Then in the second round, you draft Tyson Campbell, a corner out of Georgia, who was viewed as a guy who doesn't really give their effort and only really plays well when he cares. You draft someone who's just rock solid and will just be a 5-year starter on your team, won't do anything spectacular, but will just make the solid plays you need him to. And then later on, I had this wrong. I thought he was drafted in the 3rd round. That's completely my mistake. I've said that before. But in the 2nd round, very late in the 2nd round, they took Walker Little. a tackle out of Stanford, I believe. Stanford. And he didn't play for like 2 years previously to like for this season. Like this year was the first year he played football in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So and that's the guy who's protecting your blind side? No.
It's awful. And we mentioned the Jets a little bit. We kind of went off course with that. But my thing is, at least the Jets have a game plan. You know what I mean? You have your young guy. You're committed to him. Sure, we had questions. Justin Fields could have been that guy, whatever. You have Zach Wilson, and you go out and you get Elijah Tucker, who I said was a great pick. I still think was the right pick at that position, trading up and going to get him. But now you need to start hitting. You need to start hitting on guys. You know, you have Corey Davis, sure.
They drafted Elijah Moore.
Yes, who I also really liked as a draft pick. He's picking it up.
And then they drafted Michael Carter.
Yes.
So they like, listen, as much as we give the Jets flock,
and they suck this year, they have a game plan.
Yes, they have a game plan.
You know who doesn't have that? The Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes. They have no game plan right now because they still have a head coach who's making the decisions who should not be there. And that's why Trevor Lawrence has been disappointing, underwhelming. Look, we can't say it's all Trevor Lawrence, but some of it has to go to him, right? Some of it has to go to, I forget, it was a couple of weeks back. They were beating someone. Lawrence has a very bad pick six. I can't remember.
Arizona.
Yes. And Lawrence has a pick six. And now they're down to like 2 possessions, and they're getting the ball back, which is touchdown. You have this young quarterback shattered, and Urban Meyer is just like hands on the knees, like, oh well, like this isn't college. You can't go give him a rant in the locker room about passion or whatever these overpaid college coaches get to yell at these young professional athletes. You can't do that. These are grown men. These are professionals. And you're hanging your head as a head coach. He needs to get out of there. But Trevor Lawrence also needs to really get better, and they need to hit their draft pick. So that's my whole thing with Trevor Lawrence.
And you know what? One more disappointing rookie, like moving past Trevor Lawrence. This is a bit less known of a name. Okay, so you might not really know who, like a lot of you guys might not know who this is, but it's worth noting. Liam Eichenberg. Have you heard of him?
No. I was like, do I?
He was an offensive lineman taken in the 3rd round, I believe. 2nd or 3rd, I think the 3rd round from the Miami Dolphins. He's like a guard tackle hybrid. Okay, he can play both. He is a starter. He was considered a plug and play guy who mostly played at tackle, but in the league would switch to guard. Okay, so he can play both, but it's believed that as a pro he'd be a better guard. And Liam Eichenberg, do you know where he ranks right now in terms of quarterback pressures allowed? Not sacks, but QB pressures allowed?
I do not.
Number 1.
Poor guy.
Number 1. I mean, shout out to my coworker Fred Case. Okay, like he's a Dolphin fan. All right, like I don't really like Dolphin fans all that much, but he's a pretty cool dude. He goes on Dolphin rants to me all the time, and he actually pointed this out to me. So you know what, like shout out to you, buddy. Like thank you for letting me know, but I'm stealing your info for the podcast. Screw you. but
welcome to the world, kid.
Yeah, you're gonna go far, kid, but you gotta learn the ins and outs. but still, like how out of Notre Dame, people who are notorious for just raising pretty solid, damn good pros.
Yeah.
Okay, like. Damn, man, have some damn pride.
Yeah.
You know, have some pride in yourself. Like, you were considered a plug-and-play guy, maybe just at a different position from where you were because of your versatility. Okay? Yes. And come on, man, have some freaking pride, would you? Sorry.
I know, it's all good. Really quick, I wanted to talk about Cadarius Tony because I got some flack for this one somehow. Like, people think that Cadarius Tony has one good game where he slid in and he's all of a sudden not disappointing. And I'm not even talking disappointing just on the field. Off the field, he gets into fights, or not off the field, sorry. I mean, non-football related.
Well, when the play's not going on.
Yes, exactly. He gets into fights, and he's got his coach yelling at him, and people are mad that I say that's underwhelming. We have a guy who we compared to Deebo Samuel, and he's not having near the year that Deebo Samuel's having. They have the same skill set. And am I wrong for saying that Cadarius Tony has been disappointing?
Well, the fights and the off the field, well, not off the field, like when the whistle's blown after.
It's a hard thing to describe.
Yeah, like that shit, I completely understand.
Yes.
But that being said, he's had injuries.
He has.
Okay, he really wasn't getting targets. So
That's
he
true.
really wasn't getting targeted at all.
That's right.
So
he wasn't starting for a while.
Yeah, he wasn't starting. He wasn't getting targeted, and then when he was actually a focal point and made a point of emphasis on offense,
he was pretty good.
He played well.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, he got hurt. So I wouldn't call him a disappointment. I would just say, just wait.
When,
Just
when we're
wait
talking
on
about
Kadarius
disappointment,
Toney.
though, I'm not saying like, oh, he's played bad, but it's been disappointing to see what's gone on with. You know what I mean? Like,
That's fine. No,
has he
just
played
getting
well?
injured and
Yes,
then
but
getting
the
ejected.
injury prone is a problem. It looks like his, I guess, mental. Could you call it? Is a problem.
His mentality. His like, I don't know, losing his cool. His fuse. His fuse.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll say the fuse. And look, it's one play. I don't know anything about who Cadarius Tony is as a person, so I'm not going to pretend like I do, but just looking at it from the outside, I'd say that this is a disappointment. You have a guy who he finally kind of gets his break. He's starting, and he has all these injury problems, and he has this. And look, I love Cadarius Tony. I loved him coming out of the draft. I still think he could be a good player.
We both did.
Yes, but me personally looking at what I'm looking at right now, it's disappointment. He, in my opinion, could have been a sleeper. For obviously now we know it's Jamar Chase for the offensive rookie of the year, and I don't really
Either
think
him
it's
or
close.
Mac.
Him or Mac, and it's looking like it's going to be Jamar Chase unless that production slows down. But he was one of my candidates for a sleeper pick. Once he gets his chance in the Giants uniform, I was like, he can perform. We see that in this week, and now it's all fallen off. He went from being like, he had like an 80% start rate in fantasy, and now it's at like a 2. Which, don't get me wrong, fantasy people have no idea what they're talking about half the time. But still, I mean, you see on the field, you see these disappointing factors. And, I wanted him to be this really high-powered offensive weapon. I still think he could, but right now, it's just not looking good.
Yeah, you know what? Only time will tell when it comes to him, so we'll see. That's really all I have to say.
Yeah, it was something I wanted to throw in there. I got some flack for the most disappointing, but really, other than him, what rookies have been disappointing? I mean, you could argue Zach Wilson, but I mean,
Trevor Lawrence, Liam Eichenberg, those are my two main.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, I like I said, I don't consider Cadarius Tony a disappointment. Just for the pure fact.
When we're talking about like when we have to give, all right, let's say we were to give like our top 3 most disappointing rookies. Like what you could switch him for Wilson, but even then, Wilson's.
Well,
who knows?
I mean, honestly,
Trey Lance hasn't played. I refuse to accept Trey Lance as an answer.
Yeah, he sucks.
He sucks.
He sucks.
Who knows? I mean, I'd give Cadarius Tony time, but I just want to throw it in there. He's been disappointing to maybe my unfair standards, but that just is what it is.
So, Willie, Nick, picks
of the week. Yeah, I think it's time. Look. And you are going to go probably crazy at one of these.
Line.
The offensive line. We love our offensive lines here. So we'll get into the Willie Nick picks of the week. I made these this afternoon, so that they are pretty fresh. And look, there's some shockers in here. So I'm ready for you to hear these. All right, first game: Baltimore versus Miami at Miami. Give me Baltimore. I mean, Miami it's all over the place, right? We don't even know if Brian Flores is the right guy anymore. It's all over the place. So give me Baltimore there. MVP candidate Lamar Jackson. Atlanta and Dallas. Dallas at home. Give me Dallas. Look, Atlanta, I think this was when they kind of snapped back to reality. Right now, I think
the ghost grab.
I was gonna say it. You beat me to it. Yeah, so I think that
you
Dallas,
better lose.
Mom spaghetti.
His mom's spaghetti.
It's
He's
true.
weak mom's spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti.
There's
Delori.
mom's spaghetti on his spaghetti already.
So give me Dallas. I'll take Dallas over Atlanta. When we have New Orleans versus Tennessee. Give me New Orleans. We've been talking about
with Trevor Siemian, they're gonna be all right.
I still like this team. I like their defense.
All right, we'll see.
And look, no Derrick Henry.
We'll see.
Who knows? They're the number 1 team right now, but I think this is my reality check week. This is when it's a little snap and then
in a
we're
week
back.
where Jacksonville beats Buffalo, this is your reality check week?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's see.
This week, because look, last week we were living in NFL fairyland. This is the reality week.
All right,
so give me New Orleans. Indianapolis over Jacksonville. I like Indy. I think that they have a shot to make a run at this division, and this is where it has to start. It has to start with Jacksonville. I think they won last week, right?
They beat the Jets on Thursday night.
So these are the games they need to win to have a shot at that division.
2 straight easy weeks.
Yes.
And I believe they have Houston again, too.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, all right, next game, Cleveland, New England. I'm going to be a homer. Give me New England. I predicted.
We'll see.
I predicted that New England will win their next 4 games, and I'm sticking to that. Not only did I predict, I had New England before, but now there's no Chubb this week, and there's also no Kareem Hunt. So it's going to be Dearness Johnson again,
Welcome back.
who is again on my fantasy team. But still, I've
Will's
the
just the ultimate
Patriots.
screamer in fantasy.
Oh, I am the waiver wire demon. That's my thing.
Splash Brothers. I love that fucking new name. Splash
The
Brothers.
Splash Brothers. Yeah, those are my guys. All right, so we'll go to Buffalo and the Jets. This is the snapback, and no more funny business. Buffalo, get it together. They're gonna beat the Jets. They're in MetLife, so I think that maybe that play. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. No.
Give me Buffalo. Give me Buffalo every day on that. This is the big one. Pittsburgh and Detroit.
Really?
Detroit,
Really?
get your first win.
Really?
This is the week. This is the best 0-8 team of all time. They will not go 0-9.
Okay.
Pittsburgh looks struggling. Look, Najee Harris is great, but they're gonna do what they did versus the Rams. They're just gonna pull out all the gimmicks, and I don't think the Steelers can handle that.
We'll see.
Look, I know it's bold. But you gotta throw a lob sometimes right now. You gotta take a shot in the dark. You never know. I have my eyes closed and I'm throwing a dart at the dartboard looking for a bullseye.
Well, to me, it sounds like it's 10 minutes left in the first quarter of an NBA game and you're chucking up a half-court shot.
No, look, all right. I'm blindfolded, throwing at a dartboard, and the Detroit Lions, they're on my dot team. He's on my dot team.
He's on my dot team.
He's on my dot team. Shout out Bill Nick. Yeah, we know he loves his darts.
Can't wait for you to start your own podcast with Big J.
It'll never happen on my accord. I'll tell you that much. Tampa Bay, Washington. Give me Tampa Bay. Washington has surprised me this year with how awful that they've looked.
I agree.
And look, I thought they had a chance to go out and maybe go for their division this year, but I guess not, reclaim the throne. But look, give me Tampa Bay. I think Tom Brady is the MVP right now, and I think he's going to win the MVP. I know I'm rooting for you with Stafford because that was a really good pick, but right now I think it's Tom Brady.
I'll have no problem admitting I'm wrong if it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know?
I love the Stafford pick, though, so I'll root for you on that one. But right
Thanks,
now it's Tom
buddy.
Brady. Got you, man. Carolina, Arizona. Give me Arizona. Sam Darnold is looking at a real tough play. It's like he gets PTSD whenever he plays the Patriots. He goes back. He's like, oh, Adam, do I really have to throw this ball?
Halloween's over, buddy. No more seeing ghosts.
Come on. I loved how the seeing ghost thing came back on during Halloween. It's like it's a chef's kiss, man. To be like, that's just perfect. I couldn't have scripted it any better. So Arizona over Carolina. Give me the Chargers over the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota's kind of in an place. We don't know about Dalvin Cook, nor will we comment about Dalvin Cook. So I'll give me the Chargers and that whole dumpster fire going on right now. Denver and Philly. Give me Philly. Look, I know Denver is at home and
they just routed the Cowboys.
They did, but look, the Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys. Come on now. The Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys. I refuse to accept they're a Super Bowl contender still. I think they're a good playoff team, but I don't think they're a contender. So give me the Chargers. Look, Justin Herbert is insane. He already has 12 300-yard games. And look, this is one of the games I feel like he goes crazy. Okay, Green Bay, Seattle. We previewed this a little bit during the show. Give me Green Bay. Jordan Love, go get you a win. Go get you a win. But if you don't, I'm gonna be here. Just you remember that. If you don't get that win, I'm gonna be right here.
Beat your ass.
I'm gonna be right here in this chair, and I'm gonna be ready to talk about it. So come on, Jordan. Let's see it step it up.
Come on, dog.
Come on, dog.
Where's the wife, dog?
Where's the touchdowns, Jordan? Come on, dog.
Come on, love. Let's go, love.
Shut up, Kilman. Andrew. Kansas City, and Vegas. I'm not doing it again. I picked the Raiders last week. I'm not doing it again. Reality, snap back. Look, Kansas City's winning this game. I can't. Every time I pick the Raiders, they lose, and every time I don't pick them, they win. This is the time I finally hit. The Raiders are losing this one, and Kansas City is going to make their way back and take that division.
Deshaun Jackson's going to get 300 yards receiving.
Okay. Nelson Aguilar is going to...
And 5 touchdowns.
Oh, for sure. For sure, Conti. Look, all right, next game, Rams, 49ers. This is the Monday night game. Give me the Rams. I still think that they're probably the best-looking team in the NFL, maybe a little bit behind the Bucks and the Bills. You could argue it's a throw-up, but I do really like the Rams, especially this is going to be Von Miller's debut, and I think they're going to give Jimmy Garoppolo a whole bunch of problems. But George Kittle's back, so, who knows with that game. And those are the picks for the week.
Oh, man.
What were your biggest disagreements, Gino? The Detroit one, probably.
I think there's no way that that Denver is riding a high wave right now after just beating one of the best teams in the NFL. Okay, and I don't know how are they gonna beat Philly, man.
It's possible. It could happen.
I don't know, man.
Hey, you never know. Look, it's it's been a great episode of Conti and Nick. I really love the whole no time constraint thing. It's nice.
I do too.
We're 5 minutes
We're
older.
5 minutes over. Who gives a shit? You
Yeah,
know?
it is what it is. It's our show.
This is our show.
We
damn
run
it.
the show now. Bench, Cam Koffel.
Wasn't expecting that.
Nah, it's
Who
fine.
knew it was you who would be the one who goes off the script?
No, I love the bench. I was on record of saying I love the bench, but it's nice to have our old format back.
I agree, but we're still live. It's like a combination.
I know, it's beautiful. But again,
should have done this all along.
this should have been the plan all along. But once again, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, really love seeing people in the chat today. Shout out to Cam Tate. We love having that. And it's been great. It's been fun. We love doing this. We're gonna continue to do. I think I like this format. I think
Of course,
this format.
I love it.
So we're gonna keep doing this. It feels like when we first started. Just two kids talking about sports. Make sure you follow us on social media at Conti and Nick. There's a link tree. That's also our Instagram, our TikTok, Twitter, all of that stuff. So make sure you go follow us on that. We post polls. We do a whole bunch of stuff. That's where all the information is. Some of y'all are crazy though on the polls. Gino has the whole thing. Please stop voting for O.J. Simpson. Can we move on from that?
He's really killing it on those polls.
But you know who kills it the most? Jambro! Peace, ladies and gentlemen.